Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. Today I'm going to make a really simple Z-fold card, and I'm actually making it for my Father's Day card for my husband. I'm using the He's All That suite, and I'm only going to use the stamps and some of the designer series paper. Now this paper is quite special. It has lots of patterned pieces in, lots and lots of patterned paper, but it also has 2 sheets of these cutouts. So if you didn't want to stamp, or if you wanted to make a journal or a scrapbook, these little pieces press out and are already printed and coloured. So that makes it really easy for projects. And let me pop this away and I'll show you how we're going to start. I'm using early espresso and I'm just going to cut the whole sheet in half. I've got a full sheet and I'm going to cut it on the long side at 5.5. So I'll cut it right down at 5.5, and then on this piece we've got it at 8.5 by 5.5. On the long side I'm going to score at 2 1/8. So we start at 2 and we're going across 2 of the little marks, because each of those marks is 1/16. So 2 1/8, and then 4 1/4. And that's the base of our card, but we need a smaller card to go on the top to make the Z fold. And this one is going to be 3 inches, up 3.5 inches, I beg your pardon, by 7. So I'm going to cut it down at 3.5 first. Move that little piece because we don't need that one. And then let's extend the arm, and I'm going to cut this at 7. We don't need this little piece. And this one, I'm just going to put the arm back in. Oops. And this one we're going to score again on the long side at 1 3/8. So that's the up to the quarter, and then 2 marks after the quarter. That would make it 1 3/8. And again at 3.5. Now I have already cut the rest of my card, and all the sizings are on my craftsbythebow.blogspot.com. So you don't need to watch me do lots of cutting. But we're going back to the bigger card base, and we're going to fold it into a Z fold card. This will become the right hand side of our card, the sort of the inside and the back. So I'm going to fold it over and then back again. And you can use a bone folder just to go over that. I haven't got mine in my hand, so I'm just going to use a little block, because that does press it down just as much as you need. So when you stand it up, it is a Z fold card. It sort of looks like it goes back to front at the moment, but you've got the smaller fold at the front. And we're going to do exactly the same with this one. I'm going to turn it around so I've got the big piece here. And we're going to fold it back on itself and then back again. So again, it's a Z fold. It's going the wrong way, but this is just how you need it, because this square piece for the front, that's what you're going to see, and that's the piece we're going to decorate. Okay, now before I start to do any of the stamping or anything, I'm going to put my designer series paper pieces on, and I have already cut them, and I've got 2 of the camping papers. I don't think they match together, so I don't think it matters too much. And I'm going to put them one on here and one on here. They're both exactly the same size. And I'm just going to attach them with my stamping seal. But you could use a liquid glue, you could use tear and tape, whatever you want, whatever works for you. Okay? And you'll have 1/4 inch for your gap. So you've got a nice little border all the way around. The same with this one. Pop plenty of adhesive on, and just make sure it lines up with your designer series paper that's on the left, and then make sure it sort of matches up at the bottom as well, because you will actually see that when you open the card. You don't want one to be a bit longer than the other. Okay, and then I need a piece for here, and I've chosen a totally different piece of paper. You could choose the same, but I thought I might go with a coordinating piece of paper. Just adds a little bit more interest then. And I don't think there's a right and a wrong way for this, because the bottles, you know, you can have them going either way. So as you turn the paper, the cows and the pigs are all different ways. So I really don't think there's a wrong and a right. Okay, so that becomes our base. I'm going to put that to one side, and I'm going back to this smaller piece. The big square is going to be at the left-hand side, and on here I'm going to add just a piece of basic white, and it's going to fit like that. You can stamp on here and make your design on here, but what I did was I took one of the pieces from the little cutouts, which looks like this. It's almost like a torn piece of notepaper, and I stamped the sentiment, to the man who does everything. And although it doesn't fit exactly, it makes a good try at it. And I just think it looks quite nice. It's nice to see that little torn edge as well. I did my stamping. I popped it on the Stamparatus because I wasn't sure whether my ink needed refilling. It's a little bit dry, and so I wanted to make sure it was dark enough to see. And I've made it just 3 inches in height so that you get, you know, the same border that you've got on the rest of the designer series paper. Okay. So that one's going to go on here. I'm going to attach it already. I am going to pop something else on there as well. Let's put that on there. But you certainly don't have to have a second piece. You can stamp your design straight onto the white card. And then I've got another piece of white card that's going to go here. And I'm going to put a couple of the little trees on from the designer series paper cutouts. And then I've got another little piece that's going to go here. If you didn't want to use that, you could equally just pop a little bit more of the designer series paper on. So in fact, I might even do that. I cut it for each. So you could pop it on like this, and you remember that's the one that I have on the front anyway. But I think I'm going to pop just the one little piece at the right hand side. Oops. Let's get that rolling around again. There we go. And here I'm going to put the white on. And you could write your sentiment on this piece. You could stamp something else. I've actually got another little piece that I've stamped on. And let's add these little leaves. I'm going to use, I think I might put it on with dimensionals actually, just to make those pop up a little bit. Let me find the other one. And there's some really nice little die cuts on the big sheets. It looks really nice. Let's take one of these edge pieces that's just a little bit narrower, and let's pop one of these on. These little edge pieces that go around the dimensionals are really useful because they're just a little bit narrower. You can use the whole length of the strip as well if you wanted, but it just makes it, gives you a few more options, that's all. Let's make sure we've got the back of these, yeah. Okay, I could almost do with a third one there, but that's what I've got at the moment. So I'm going to attach this, and then I'm going to put my stamped image on and my other little piece from here. So what I do is I fold that Z fold in, and I know that I want adhesive on the whole of this piece. I'm going to do that first, and I like to use liquid glue for this, just so that if I haven't got it quite straight, I can wriggle it around a little bit and it fits in. And then this piece is going to go over the front, but I know that I don't want all of this covered. I know I only need a little bit, so I'm just popping a little bit of glue on the back, probably about 1 inch in width. And then I'm going to close the two up. I'm going to try and get this one in the middle, and then I'm just going to close the whole card down. And I'm not going to press it too hard because I want to open it and check that I've got this straight. And as you can see, that was just a little bit off center there. So now I can just press it down and just press this down and this piece down. And you see how you have that gap at the back. So if you put more than an inch width of adhesive here, you're going to have glue on here and it's going to stick to the rest of your card. So at the moment that's opening just like the Z fold that I need. On the front, I'm going to put another one of the little cutouts. I'm going to put the little barbecue. And again, I'm going to just add it with dimensionals. And then it will just pop out a little bit. Take these dimensional backings off. They do get everywhere, these. Oopsie. And here, I'm just going to pop it at the right hand side. There we go. And then this was another one of the little cutouts. And all I did was stamp the Father's Day on. You can see I've got a little bit of extra ink because I pressed too hard. But it doesn't really matter because I'm going to cut it down anyway. So that's okay. And I'm going to try and add it just on here so that it fits over the edge of the Z fold card and onto here. And when I measured it, I thought it looked just the right length. So I'm going to pop it on there. And I'm going to put this on dimensionals as well. Now, if it's going through the mail, you might not want to use quite so many dimensionals, and you can certainly stick it down flat. But I just thought I might like that to pop up a little bit as well. There we go. And I've got it so that it's level with the edge of the designer series paper. Okay. And I know in here I have the matching embellishments. So they're like a little rustic one. Oh, I hope they're in here. There they are. The rustic metallic adhesive batch dots. And they're all in sort of, I don't know what colour you'd call that. They're sort of a brown metallic-y colour. And they're large ones and small ones. I'm going to pop that down. I'm just going to add a couple to the front. Oops. Oops. Stay on. No, that's not going to stay on. I'm going to move that over there. I think it's left the glue dot back on there. So I will pop that back onto the glue dot and then I'll be able to use it. There we go. Now it's picked it up. Let's pop one there, and I'm going to pop another little one down at the bottom here. Okay, and you can certainly add some more on the inside as well. But that's my little Z fold card for today. And it comes together really quickly because I didn't have to do an awful lot of stamping, and I used all of the designer series paper and the little cutouts as well. So thanks so much for watching me and for joining me today. Check my blog and all the sizings will be there that you need to make the card. Thank you everybody. I'll see you all again really soon. Bye bye.